Toyota Motor Corp's president, Akio Toyoda, scheduled to testify before Congress today. Now, according to a copy of the opening remarks, Toyota links his company's recall crisis to its expansion in recent years. Will Toyota's mea culpa today rehabilitate the brand? Well, for answers to that, we look to Jez Frampton. He is joining us now from London. He is the global CEO of Interbrand, a brand consultancy. Jez, we're so glad you're with us here. So, about the brand, I mean, how can we tell just how far it has deteriorated?
Well, this is really a day-to-day issue. I think many people have said too little, too late, and I thought it was quite concerning yesterday to see their US president talking as if this was some new problem and saying how terribly he felt about it. Well, maybe he should have been speaking 6 months ago about this. And one of the most worrying things is how well they're handling it online. They're just not keeping up with the conversation that's going on, and this is how brands are managed nowadays. It is a constant day-to-day conversation. So every single day that passes where they're not seen to be on the front foot is another day where the Toyota brand is being harmed.
Jez, how much is the brand going to take a hit from the company saying they really still don't understand what the problem is?
Well, that worries me probably more than anything else. There's a great saying which is nothing kills a great brand faster than a bad product. And I think this is something that they really need to take to heart. The most worrying thing is that they don't seem to know where the problem is. And anyone who knows Toyota well will tell you that their manufacturing processes and their use of Kaizen, for instance, means that actually the responsibility for quality lies at every single person within that company. The fact that they don't seem to know whether it's to do with design, electronics or manufacturing processes, I think is something that they need to be very concerned about. Because at the moment, the customer is unsure. And in the face of uncertainty, you're not going to buy a car that puts you and indeed your family at risk. This is a serious blow for the Toyota brand.
Jez, your company doesn't just advise others on what to do with their brand. You actually put a value on brands. And before the recalls began, you, in collaboration with Business Week, said Toyota's brand was worth $31 billion. What kind of destruction in monetary terms have we seen since then?
Well, I mean, we do the data once every year for that, and interestingly, we're just in the process of looking at it again. I mean, we'll keep a watching brief on Toyota as we're doing that. Obviously, what brands are supposed to do is they're supposed to reduce risk, actually. So over time, they should protect you from things like this. But if you don't handle the situation well, you'll find yourself in a position where the value of your brand can disappear quite quickly. If you take a look at the banks last year, the biggest faller was Citibank. Around about 50% of the value of its brand was wiped away in the space of 12 to 18 months. Now, in that instance, you could see Toyota dropping 25, 50% or further, depending on how well they handle it and whether markets believe that they've now fixed these problems. Everyone says perception is reality, and I think that the perception right now is that Toyota don't quite know what the problem is. In that situation, I'm more likely to buy one of their competitors than I am to buy a Toyota.
Jez, we don't have a ton of time left. I want to know if you think that Toyota is a canary in the coal mine, though. They are having this brand issue, but 60% of cars are run by electronics these days. I read something that for Toyota, 70 chips alone are in the engine. I mean, they're having a problem. Are we going to see other auto manufacturers have the same problem?
I think it goes back to the first word that Toyota always stood for, which was quality. I mean, cars have always been complicated, but now they're mind-bogglingly complicated because of all the electronics that are in there. Now, you're in a situation where you're selling somebody a very, very sophisticated piece of technology to travel around at very high speeds with human beings in it. Quality has to be the absolute obsession of the company. And I think they need to get back to what they really stood for and what they built the company on.